Just the facts, Lisa Hamill.
Several years ago, I had had a long, grueling day of sales and administration. I needed my sleep. As I dozed off, the phone rang. Oh, please, let it be a short ring. I was getting the familiar late night communication from my manager. She would fax us all our assignments, and every page, one page, came across with anyway, when you're trying to sleep, that's one of the last things you want to hear. I was so frustrated. Every page was a herald, a fanfare from my fax machine. It was anything but calming. No. You remember those old fax machines. How many pages is she going to send to me this time? It ended up being over 20. My new district manager was so intense about details and getting our district sales up. She was from Dallas, but her personality was more like a New York subway. She smoked like a fish, suffered through migraines weekly. She was a hot dog. And so difficult to keep up with. I finally got so sick and tired of listening to that crazy noise, I jumped up, ran into the office, and pushed the fast forward button on my fax machine. I heard a loud thump. I turned around, and when I looked back at the machine, there was my manager in person, standing there excited and buck naked. What have I done? I ran to the closet and brought her my bathrobe. How did this happen? Both of us were stunned. Roberta, my manager, could not contain herself and wanted to talk. We sat down and discovered that there was a way of capitalizing on this experience. It turns out the fax machine had a fast forward button that keyed into her wrist. Several years ago, she had a chip implant that allowed her to fast track airline security because of all her travel. She had no idea that it would get picked up by my fast forward button on my fax machine. We decided to start our own airline free travel agency. Can you believe that? Once the chip got implanted into a person's wrist, all you had to do was dial up the number you were wanting to go to, scan the chip, and then up, and away. Simple as that. The issue was that the scanner would only pick up biologic messaging. So clothing would get left behind. No problem. We had passengers send their belongings over ahead of time, FedEx or UPS. Phone numbers were to private fax rooms with their travel attire and grooming needs available when they got there. That was a good plan. There were three major savings for this mode of transportation. First, it saved a lot of time. Can you imagine not having to go through airline security, parking your car, renting a car, or having somebody drive you down to the airport and pick you up? The travel time was only the time it took to send a fax to the respective phone number. Most people were 2 to 3 pages worth of electronic transmission, depending on their weight. A second bonus was that my manager lost her desire to smoke. Her migraine headaches disappeared. And now she was that much richer in the throes of our new business. As a former nurse, she noticed this method of travel resulted in total restoration of wellness. Apparently, the electronic breakdown of the body into transmissible waves that got reconfigured at the destination also reconfigured the individual into their native genetic state of complete wellness. Now, that was a phenomenal oasis to experience. Can you imagine that? Faxing fixed the pathology so that complete wellness physiology was restored. No more medications, no more cravings, no more pathology of disease. What more could you ask? The third benefit for this company was a dramatic impact on the healthcare system that, as you know, is already broken. Faxing wellness allows you to fax yourself to another number in your very own home. You do not have to worry about sending your clothing out ahead of time because they would be waiting for you in your closet of choice. Faxing wellness eliminated the need for vaccinations, medications, or even exercise programs because you would reprogram your ideal body weight into the chip implant. What a concept. So for years, Roberta and I have been great business partners and friends. We gratefully sell Travel Wellness Advantage to insurance companies as well. They love it. Now, my fellow travel talkers and guests, aren't you glad that you now know those are just the facts?